Hello and welcome to Small Talk, the show where we can talk about anything from politics to pop culture. This week's show, we're talking about something a little different. We're talking about video games, specifically League of Legends, and why we both quit the game after having played it for a large portion of both of our lives. So who knows if anyone will find this interesting. It's a little bit different from the normal stuff on my channel, but that's kind of the point of this show is just random topics, and some might be interesting, some might not, but some people might find it entertaining. So we are both kind of I think this episode is going to be different too from our normal structure. This is just going to be more of a discussion because there's no real presentation to give because we both feel exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit sad. So
it's very sad. I think
yeah.
Let's start like at the beginning. So I started playing League of Legends before you did.
Yeah.
I was going to introduce you to League of Legends.
You did.
And I started playing League of Legends back in like season 2, I want to say. I achieved gold in season 2 and season 3. Was never able to achieve it again, which is fine. I've mained everything. I've mained support. I've done ADC. I haven't done a lot of mid, so I can't say I've ever mained mid, but I did a lot of support, a lot of ADC. I mained jungle for a while, and then I found my niche up top, and I was a top main. I loved playing top. And back in 2013 is when I started playing, 2012, 2013. And Alan came back from his time in Mexico, and I introduced him to League of Legends because that's what me and all my roommates were playing at college at the time. And I've been playing League of Legends, for this point, it's almost been 10 years. It's been 8 years. You've been playing for almost as long as me, like 7
5
years.
or 6.
Oh, longer than that, man.
Really?
I introduced it to you at least in 2014.
10. Yeah.
2014, so it's 2022. So at least 8 years. So we've been playing for a really long time. We've mained everything. Alan's achieved gold multiple times. We've played together a ton. We've played off a ton. I can easily say over the 9 years I've played this game, I bet you I've logged at least 5,000 to 7,000 hours playing it. Easy.
Yeah, it was my favorite game.
Yes.
If you don't know, League is an online multiplayer scrimmage game. There's no story. It's just you boot it up and you play against people online and with your team of 5. The whole reason I got into it in the first place was because of you. I actually had a roommate that was playing before you introduced me, and I wasn't interested. I didn't think it looked fun, but I actually played chess professionally in my youth and childhood. I played for my school in starting in middle school, and I just realized there's a big old stain on my shirt. Yeah. the washer. This is the most expensive shirt I own because Stephanie made me buy it at Harry Potter World, and the dryer ruined it. Like there's a bunch of, I don't know. It's like falling apart. It's a crappy shirt now. What was I saying? So I played chess professionally up until my senior year of high school when the team fell apart because people went their different ways. But I'd always enjoyed that kind of a competition and the part of my brain that portion of my life used. And that's what League filled for me. When I started playing it and I realized like, oh, this scratches the same itch as League, it as chess. Like it felt like chess, but really fast and on a team. And so I grew on the game pretty fast. The first year
you mained was Warwick, if I remember right. Garen and
I started maining support. So that the first year I played was pretty rough because it's a steep learning curve.
Huge learning curve.
And I wasn't very good. But after a year, I started playing ranked and immediately got silver, which isn't like impressive or anything. But then the next year I was gold, and I've been gold ever since. Because I was only interested in getting the free skin. If you get gold at the end of the year, I probably could hold my own in plat. I frequently do, but
and that was the thing, and that's one of the reasons why I guess we can jump into why we like. Obviously, we played it a really long time, and one of the things I really have despised about this, and it's happened, is I will play with people that are diamond and platinum consistently, and I will hold my own. If you remember, we started that team with my brother-in-law's family, and my brother-in-law was a high diamond, and all his brothers were high diamond, and so we had a team of 5. So we were playing against diamond level players, and we were holding our own. Like it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
But then it came to actually climbing. I went back a month ago, and when I was just thinking on really quitting League of Legends, because and it's funny that you say that. It's almost like it's an addiction, but it was an addiction, and we'll get to that later. But like I went back through all my games this past year, and easily over 50, I think it was like 60% of the losses, which I had, came from trolls on my team. People actually actively trolling, actively feeding, actively trolling, actively throwing. And they're either streaming it or they get a kick off of just ruining other people's experiences. And it's really hurt. It's really hurt League of Legends. And I will be honest, I think just for gaming in a whole, the worst thing to happen to gaming, and since I believe its beginnings, it was the pandemic. Because all these young kids stayed home. They stayed home from school. They didn't have school, and they just got on and they played video games 24/7 because parents still have to go to work. And they are toxic as all get out. I mean, the toxicity level, and League has been known to be toxic. It's always every meme you look at it, it's always been known to be a toxic game. But this past probably year and a half, 2 years, it has been unbearable, literally unbearable.
And I don't think it's just because of the extra free time that people had, so there are more people playing more frequently. I think there's also a huge culture shift that happened with the pandemic, especially in young people who can no longer go to school and are going to have their college and education pushed back. And I think a lot of people developed a kind of like screw it attitude, like nothing matters. And it really, it affected our favorite video game. But not to just blame it all on bad actors, the development of the game as well has really left a lot to be desired. They haven't done anything to fix the problems, and they just allow people to troll and ruin games, which there used to be a pretty robust system for de-incentivizing losing on purpose.
Yeah.
And no one ever gets punished.
No one. I remember when we first started out, probably, so we've been playing 9 years, and I remember the first probably 6 years of playing this game, I would log on frequently and you'd get that message, someone you reported has been banned, or someone you reported has been sent to the tribunal for punishment, or whatever it was. And that has become so infrequent now when it's so bluntly obvious. I mean, when you look at your game and you have everyone report somebody because they decided to go 0-12 or 0-19, and for those of you who don't know what this is, your first letter, like 1 and 2, would mean you had 1 kill, 2 deaths. So like 0-19 would be you had 0 kills and 19 deaths. And so people, actively trolling, when you do that and you log back on, you don't see that message as often. Someone was banned. And that's really hard for me, especially now as an adult. I mean, I'm in my early 30s at this point. I can't play as much as I used to. I mean, when I was in college without kids, you knew it all the time.
Well, that's the other reason why I liked League of Legends, because it was a game I could just log on, play one game, not commit to a story or anything, and that was it.
Yeah. And you have, usually a game takes anywhere from 30 minutes to upwards of an hour. Rarely do they go beyond 50-ish minutes. So usually it's 30-minute mark, give or take 15 minutes. And I only have maybe one day to play 3 or 4 games a week at this point. And when all those games, half those games have trolls, it really hurts. But not just the bad actors. I think maybe we should touch, going into like the development of the game, all their characters that they're releasing. And it used to always be a thing. A new champion would be released, and that champion would be overpowered. And then they would fine tune it, and it would be a normal champion, and whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, and then they stopped caring.
Yeah, and now every champion that they've released, like it used to be a champion had a strength and a weakness, right?
Yeah.
Every champion had a strength and had a weakness, and it was blaring and it was blunt. Now all the champions that they've been bringing out are just, they all have a stun, they all have a dash, they all have an escape, they all have an engage. And sure, you can say, well, some are stronger than others, and some are tanks, and some are this. Sure, but for the vast majority of the time, I mean, look at the new one they just released, that Talia.
I don't remember. I haven't played.
She has like 1 billion dashes. She has several stuns. She has a Jax. You can't auto attack her because it blocks your attacks or whatever it is. I mean, it's just the dumbest thing ever. And so, yeah, I think just that leaves a lot to be desired. And then the other thing that really was irking me, and I remember discussing this with you about a year ago, was the healing. In this game, there's certain champions that will heal you when you're hurt, and that is their strength. Or there are certain items you can use that will heal you when you attack. And they doubled down on this, and healing is just so overpowered.
It's mostly self-healing too. Like people can just out damage any and out vamp any damage that they're taking.
Right. I mean, I remember playing one of the last games I played with you. It was, I believe, a Soraka support, which is a healing support. I think at this point we'll just talk like people know what we're talking about. We don't need to take time.
I assume no one's going to watch this if they haven't played League.
Yeah, I assume so too. So it was a Soraka support with a Pantheon ADC. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
And at level 4, I think, they tower dived us, and you landed a stun on the Pantheon. I landed my whole kit on the Pantheon, and the tower was attacking Pantheon, and somehow, not even somehow, Soraka, I think they were level 6 because he ulted in. That's what happened. He ulted in. We dodged the ult. He was able to get a stun. We got all our kit off, and Soraka was able to use her ult and her heals. And with his items, it didn't matter that he took 3 or 4 tower shots. It didn't matter that both of our kits, he absorbed it. He got out of there scot-free. I've seen a full build Kayn that went Dark and Kayn, literally 1v5 like it was nothing. We're talking, and people that have anti-healing items, people that have
I'm streaming.
Health items and stuff. He comes in and he just wrecks things. 1v5, he just wrecks it. Doesn't matter what you do, how you do it, he wrecks it. And I don't know. It was just it was very annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are. I have complaints about the gameplay and how they've developed, but by far my main complaint is just the community and how toxic it's gotten, and it's a weird concept to complain about that kind of stuff. But so I just want to clarify, like, I don't really care about all chat, or I don't really care about name calling, because people are going to flame and they're going to say stupid things. Like I used to play Call of Duty with my friends. I've been called worse things in voice chat, and that's really not what bothers me. I don't care if someone is verbally toxic in the game, but it's when they intentionally throw the game, which, if you're in a normals, who cares? But when you're playing ranked, like, the whole point is to get better, and you have people that just give up and intentionally try and ruin people's days, and it just got it got so bad that I wasn't having fun anymore.
Yep.
Which is the only reason we were playing the game. And you mentioned it had become kind of an addiction.
Yeah.
Which is 100% true. The game incentivizes you to play frequently and to play often. It'll give you rewards if you complete missions and stuff that are renewed on a weekly basis. And it kind of got to the point where that was the only reason why I was playing, just to get a free skin here and there.
And I also found that just like with that was the game I always booted up. Like I opened up my computer and I booted up League of Legends instantly. Like that's what I just. And I have this huge backlog of games that I wanted to play, and I still have a huge backlog of games.
Oh yeah.
On my screen right now, I can pull up my Steam, and I've got so many backlog games that I haven't played, and the vast reason why I haven't played it is because legit I was playing League. And
I want to share my screen.
So just for kicks and giggles, I went right before this stream. And I played one game. We haven't played in about a month, and I played one game, and just for the community. And this is what I was doing for those who know. I main Teemo top. I'm like a Teemo, Yorick, Nasus, Tryndamere. I'm that annoying split pushing top that you hate. And so I was. I could pull this up. I was 110 CS above my laner. I was 0-3. Granted, I had 3 kills, but I had both turrets. I was to the inhibitor turret, and I'm 0-3, 100 CS up, 2 towers up, and my team is raging at me like you would not believe.
Mm-hmm.
Full-fledged raging. I have taken the entire blue side, or the enemy blue side jungle. He never was able to take his blue. He never was able to take his blue.
They were mad because you weren't joining team fights.
But here's the thing: even with that,
I guess, right?
I was 0-3 and 7. 0-3 and 7 when my team surrendered. 0-3 and 7. So I had been involved in team fights. I had given 7 kills away, or at least been involved in parts where 7 kills had been taken. And the team was raging at me. Never mind that my other laners have lost their turrets and they're 3 or 4 kills behind. It was just, oh, look at this person. He's 0-3. And people just jumped down my throat. Like, it was crazy. One person started yelling at me, in all chat, this guy's feeding. Look at him. He's so stupid, yada, yada, yada. And then the rest of the team would jump on and it would just... And
three deaths is not feeding. I'm sorry. No. Like, anyone who says that has clearly never experienced a teammate who was trolling.
I hated every second of it. I hated it.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of funny that we both came to the realization at the same time. We played a game together, and afterwards we're like, that wasn't very fun. Was I was like, and we literally at the same time we're like, I think I'm done with League. It's like he's like, yeah. Like it's like, I'll quit if you quit. Yeah, I'm done. And
we used to have the best time too, and that's the thing. We would.
Oh, dude, I remember the seriously some of my greatest memories. Aside from I have kids. Okay, aside from like being in the hospital and seeing my newborn children. Okay, some of my favorite memories are us just like ordering a bunch of pizzas and finding some random room in the college and hunkering down with 5 friends.
Yep.
And playing League for like 6 hours on all together on a team.
Yep. Yep. And we would also do the crazy stuff like bot lane. We'd get on and we'd be like, what could we do that would just be fun? Let's do the Sticky Bandits. Let's play a Leona Taric duo bot. Let's play a Lux Zyra or Lux brand bot. Let's do something so stupid. And we would win or we would lose and we would have fun. It wouldn't matter. But the game lost its fun. The game lost its charm. The community is a very large portion of that. And also the addiction was a large portion of that. I found myself playing. I found myself wanting to play. I found myself striving to play, looking forward to play. And now that I have stopped, my mental health, and it sounds dumb because it's a video game, but anything can be an addiction, right? Yeah. My mental has vastly improved. I found that I'm not as irritable anymore. I found that I spend more time with my kids and my family. I'm glad we stopped playing it, and it's sad because it really was. And in a way, it still is very fantastic.
It was a great game,
and it will continue to be one of the largest games in the world for quite some time. But
back onto the old addiction topic. I just barely booted this up. I have not played since we said we were quitting. And I think in addition to the incentivizing you to play often is a bit of the sunk cost fallacy. Because I've put so much of my life and money into the game.
Sure.
That like, oh, I can't just stop playing now. Like I'm currently sitting on about $30 of in-game currency of real money, which I'm never going to use.
I think I'm about 20.
Yeah. And like, if you go to like my collection, let's just look at all my skins. Like I have a lot. And honestly, I didn't spend a whole lot of money on this game. Most of the skins I would get for free by completing the challenges and events. But I'd been playing it for so long, and like every once in a while I was like, okay, I'll put like 10 games in because I've spent more money on other games that I've played less, right? And a lot of this money, some of it came from Amazon Prime. Has like they'll give you free RP, but look at all these skins I have.
Yeah, 167 in total.
It's a lot. Yeah, 2015. That's when I started. So a little bit less than when you thought. 7 years of my life. But yeah, no, and you mentioned like I don't even know what they could do to make me come back. And I think at this point, even if they made changes and made the community better, I don't see myself playing the game ever again.
Yeah, like I said, I played the one, and I don't have a desire to play again. If I go to my skins,
hey, you're on League. Let's play a game. Oh no, no.
71 skins. My first skin was acquired back in 2014, but I'd already been playing for about a year.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think you ever I ever answered because we switched to a different topic. But I started maining support, and then I switched to a jungle, and then I switched to mid, and I'm pretty good at all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I was really good. I was gold pretty much the whole time. Once
Yeah.
I started playing it really well, I would play ranked to gold and then just
Goof around.
goof around,
Yeah.
not in ranked because I didn't want to throw people's games.
Yeah, it's and like you said, I don't think I'll ever go back and play again. I don't need to go back and play again. Both a blessing and a curse. It's too bad. It was one of my favorite games. It's been one of my favorite games for 8 years, but I'm done with it. I can't. I'm not having fun with it.
And we used to watch Worlds together all the time.
Yeah.
I would stay up till like 3 o'clock in the morning to see a game live.
Mhm.
And that was a blast. Because I'd never really been into like watching sports, but watching professional video games, man, that was fun.
Yeah, and it was fun, and it was really fun to see. But then at the same time, like I guess going back to climbing, I would see some of these, and the difference between the professional teams now and the professional teams back then.
Oh,
the
yeah.
game is different. The
Worlds,
fights are different.
It's not fun to watch anymore.
And don't get me wrong, the presentation has definitely improved. The presentation for Worlds is phenomenal. It always has been, but they've really upped their game. Like with the whole the KDA, they have their KDA, their own K-pop group or whatever, and they have them holo projected onto the stage, so it looked like they were live.
Yeah,
just they've done amazing things, and they've had, for those of you who don't know, Imagine Dragons is a huge fan of League of Legends. Apparently, that band plays all the time. So the Warriors from Imagine Dragons
was made for Worlds.
Was done for Worlds. They wrote it for Worlds. They were paid by Riot to write a game or a song for them. And then Enemies that just came out is from Arcane. They hired Imagine Dragons to do the theme song for Arcane. And you hear Enemies is on the radio 24/7. It's a really good song. I mean, the presentation has been great, but I mean, the gameplay in and of itself, there were so many times, especially this past year, where I was just shaking my head going, why is this professional team doing this? Why is this person doing this? This is the dumbest thing. Why? And you go back and you look at some of the professionals ranked, and they started in Diamond, or they would start in Platinum, and they would be picked up by teams. And anyway, it's just, I question that. Now there's some people like Faker and an ADC, starts with an S, Sneaky, and a few others that I know that if I played, they would just trounce me. They would just eat me alive. But I've started to question, especially this past year, a few of the professional players where I'm like, one-on-one, I bet you I could hold my own. Just watching how they're playing at Worlds. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think I think they've even admitted that it started to decline in viewership and player base, which is why they're branching out and starting to do so many other things. So it's a weird time. Like I never really saw myself stopping the game, especially now since they're doing so many other cool things like Arcane, which was phenomenal. I absolutely loved the TV show. Yeah. And they're doing other like single player games, which I'll probably try out. I think the turn-based one, the Ruined King, looks good, but I don't think I'll ever play League again.
Yeah, as far as the main game, League of Legends, I agree with you. I think if they, with that Ruined King, I've looked at it a few times, it looks interesting. I know they're doing, I believe they're not doing, they might be doing an MMO, or they might be doing like a Skyrim, like a Bethesda style in that League world.
Yeah, I'll check out games they have in the future, but as far as like online multiplayer and
the main game MOBA, I'm done. That's it. That's all I've got. It's
That's all I
sad.
got too.
It's sad. I loved League. I thought it was amazing. I used to tell people to play it. I got multiple people to play it. I can no longer say I am an advocate or I am a person that says League of Legends, go play League of Legends. I can't do it anymore. Now I am just stay away from it. It's just stay away from it.
And that's been losing a once great video game on Small Talk with Big Ideas. Maybe next time we'll talk about something more happy, or I'll get political again. Who knows? I've been wanting to talk about democracy in general as a concept.
I'm game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Next week.
If I have time. I've gotten significantly more busy now that I have 3 kids, and I'm spending a lot of time making the Rings of Power edits, which are doing super well on the channel. So it's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll see you on Sunday for Best Gen, where
Yes.
oh
Lord of the Rings
goodness,
of Power. Yeah. No, I'm on your team. I know. Yeah, I'm there.
yeah. I don't know if you saw last week.
Let's do it.
Liz really liked the Rings of Power show. She came back. She was on the Tolkien celebration we had.
Yeah.
I was shocked, but I'm thinking. I think she's still in like the honeymoon phase, like I was for the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. The writing is just so bad though. It took me the 4 episodes to get it. It was this last episode.
You were a shill. You were saying, "Oh, I'm trying to." It's like Kenobi is good, and
I tried to enjoy it. I was trying, and then this last episode, I was just like,
can't do it.
Nope, can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, we'll save that discussion for Sunday. We'll see you around. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, that's a little teaser. Democracy leads to tyranny. Oh, spoilers. We'll see you around, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Small Talk.
Peace, YouTube.